Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. So here is my response to that. So everything that goes into the media.
Maybe you can help me a little bit. I'm unclear if he's saying that Hamas is a good thing or a bad thing.
No, he's saying Hamas is a bad thing, and he is the son of the Hamas leader.
Wow. Okay.
So here's the thing. It's plain simple. Nothing gets to the media in here and gets, photoshopped and edited and video edited and things like that if it doesn't serve the West. Period. Full stop. They're not gonna put something that is against their agenda. That's the starter. Okay. Then second of all, of course, so let me go back to my comments about Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was a horrible person. Don't get me wrong. But now, and I viewed him as a horrible person when I was living in Iraq. He was oppressive. We didn't have much technology. We barely had internet. But then I learned that all the world barely had internet. A lot of things were missing from our lives. But from Saddam Hussein's perspective,
let me ask you a couple questions about the Saddam Hussein era. Were women treated freely in society under Saddam?
Of course.
Really? Did they have to cover their faces?
No, dude. We had swimming pools. We had mixed swimming pools. Only men days, only women days, and then mixed days. And then open air swimming pools. We had clubs, nightclubs, whatever. Dude, we were living pretty well. In the 90s, we had everything.
I've heard
we had normal life.
I've heard this, but it's awesome to hear it from you.
Dude, I find it funny that people are celebrating that Kamala Harris is becoming this and that, and she's a woman, and now she's getting to power. This is normal to us. But here, they are praising it as oh my God, this is the first time it's happening in history. This is in Iraq. I'm pretty sure there is. Again, it's what the media has delivered to you guys. But in Iraq, well, I'm pretty sure you heard about the separation between Shias and Sunnis and so on and blah, blah.
Yeah.
But this separation between the Shias and the Sunnis is a political separation. Just like how you have, the
Republican and Democrats.
The conservatives and the Republicans and Democrats. And then it just happens that, for example, Shia supports Republicans and Sunni support. But they marry each other, they live with each other and so on. So, normal life.
So women were actually appointed to public office?
Not like in Iraq during Saddam Hussein, he was the only leader. Okay. So no, they weren't in high ranks of power, but they were working in normal. Like you find, for example, we didn't have a female. What do you call it? We didn't have a female prime minister, for example, but we had females leading companies. That was normal.
Okay. See, we don't have many females leading companies here, and here we're pointing the finger at you, right? But here we don't have many females leading companies.
No, there is. I don't know how it looked like back in the 90s, but now I see that there are females. But the fact that you find it odd makes me think that you haven't seen that before. So, no. But for us, it's normal. Like Kamala Harris taking the lead on her position is fine. But I find a lot of people celebrating and, oh my God, feminist power. Like, guys, it's normal.
You know what's really funny about Kamala Harris is she's super, super, super conservative, right? So she might be a woman, but oh my God, she's kind of a horrible politician. Like her track record is unbelievable. Do you know what she did? She stacked
Mm-hmm.
the prisons full of people in California, and and then she came up with this idea to let prisoners go fight forest fires for $2 a day. Talk about slave labor, right? So here,
Exploitation.
exploitation, right? Do you want to get raped in jail, or would you rather go fight
Or
a
do you want to
forest fire?
go and make $2 an hour? Yeah. So I mean
Two two
the
fucking
problem
dollars.
here, I think the problem here is the system is they want to create equal outcomes rather than equal opportunities. So I don't mind having females in whatever position it is as long as they're competent. But I
Well,
think
thank you.
but I think like I've seen it here. I worked in companies and whatnot. What I've seen is companies and corporations and the government eventually have to manage back to a quota, and this quota goes like this: you have to have 50% males and 50% women and 50% men. Then you have to have 10% from each race. I don't think that's how it should be. I think it should be based on competency.
Right.
And I think that's where I think that's where America is missing the point.
Absolutely. But you know what? On every job application you fill out, it's like, "Oh, are you Caucasian, black?" It asks. So our
Sure.
our society is so fucking racist and so divided. And the thing that makes me upset and why I really enjoy talking with you, thank you so much, because
No, thank you.
I think this really helps us point out that, we're all just people, man. And it's the corporations that are making the money that are dividing us. That, like, there's, dude, you and I are just people. Like, I would love to buy you a beer, you know?
Sure. I
Um,
just want to circle back to the point. I didn't finish my point. Sorry. So
yeah,
my point
no,
is
I
about
just,
Saddam Hussein.
I just wanted to finish. Like, I don't give a fuck where you're from. You're a cool person, and I enjoy talking with you. Now, the rest of the world needs to get to grips with that and just get information and quit looking at a certain people from a certain area like they're the enemy just because they've been told that. Do some research. Okay, thanks. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not their fault really. It's the media's fault, and because the media controls so much of what gets into people's heads, unfortunately, that's something we can't avoid. What we can do is, for example, when I meet people, I don't straight up tell them I'm from Iraq. First, I build rapport and I talk to them, and then once they're comfortable, I tell them, and they get surprised. Oh, like, oh, I thought in Iraq they're all like camels and blah blah. Do you have TVs? I'm like, yeah, dude, we had internet before you had it. Anyways,
Oh my.
back to the point. Um, so when this gentleman talked about Mus'ab Hassan, the Green Prince, the son of Hamas's leader, and then he was
Yes.
showing this. He played this video clip about Hamas, about the son of Hamas, and he was like against Hamas and so on. So first order of business, nothing gets into the media if it's against the agenda. That's the that's why you can't find the pandemic video. It was taken from YouTube. Anything you post about it, it gets taken down on Instagram, Facebook, any social media app. You can't find it.
That's
All the
right.
search engines don't show it, but you can only find it using this DuckGoGo or GoGoDuck or whatever. So so
Duck.
if it yeah, if it's on YouTube, the government is probably okay for you to watch it. That's first order of business. The second order of business is I wanted to touch base on what happened during Saddam's days. So yeah, when I was living in Iraq and Saddam was in power, we didn't like it. Yeah, we didn't like it, of course, because we were kind of oppressed in terms of the things we can say. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, you can't curse Saddam Hussein publicly. you'll go to jail and then you'll probably get executed.
You'd be
Okay.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah. But then now that I've seen what the American governments do and how they basically go to other countries and burn them from the bottom up. Now I can understand how the reason why he was so protective, because he knew what what level of power that the Americans have, and then he knew for him to be able to protect himself and to be
Right.
able to try to at least minimally build this country, he has to shield everybody from outside influence.
You're
And that's
absolutely
what he was
right.
trying to do.
You're
That's it.
absolutely
I
right.
mean, I mean,
Because,
then look at it. They burned the country from the inside out, and now everything is under the American government control because everybody is using Facebook, and
yep.
people get censored right now. Like it's funny. People in Iraq are getting censored if they say something. Like it's very if they say something against the government, they get censored on Facebook.
Well,
Their,
let
their
me tell
account their
you.
account get disabled.
Let me tell you something. So I've been censored on Facebook so many times. I've been put. We call it Facebook jail, right? I've been kicked off Facebook for 3 days at a time, 7 days at a time, and 30 days at a time. You know why? For talking
Mm-hmm.
truth about Israel.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why there is this new social platform. People are changing to Telegram or Signal and whatnot, and so on and so forth. There is another social media app. It's called not Platter. I forgot the name, but anyways. So yeah, that's
Chart
the
house,
reason.
chart house, or
Who?
something like that. What's that? There's a
No,
new app.
no. Facebook alternative. So if you Google that Facebook alternative, it comes up. It's called.
Cool. Yeah, because Facebook.
Oh.
Fuck Facebook. It's unbelievable. I have 1,100 friends on Facebook, but if I post something, the average the average time it'll be viewed by 6 people. So they're censoring everything.
Yeah. It's called. Oh, I don't know what it was. I couldn't find it. Anyways, so but back to that
Yeah,
point.
I'll
So
Google it though.
these
Yeah.
guys, yeah. So these guys were able to bribe the son of Hamas and to convince him to basically go against his. And then, yeah, Hamas could be oppressive, but they need to do that to maintain their, I guess, vision and mission. Because if
Well,
you in this world, if you go open and then you basically allow outside intervention. And imagine you're living in a house with your family and your wife and your kids, and imagine your neighbor comes every day and tells you what to tell your family and what not to tell your family. That's
that's right.
basically what the United States is doing. It goes to people's houses and tell them, it goes to governments and tell them how they should act, and essentially eliminating that government's power. And
It's
essentially,
even
why do they do that? Why
it's
do they
even
do
worse.
that? To
It's even worse than that, brother. We tell you, tell your neighbor they have to believe this, or we're gonna kill their child.
yeah, I mean, you basically you get the point. That's what I'm trying to get at. So yeah, Hamas might be oppressive, but it is oppressive for that reason. Just as why that's just as why nobody understood why Saddam was doing that. But
Well,
now,
what is the
20 years
alternative?
later,
What's the
well,
alternative to?
the alternative would be to open the country, make the internet available for everybody, and stop monitoring all this, and then you get people going against you because I mean let's first agree on something. 90% of the people are stupid. That's why we only have right now 2 viewers.
Thank you,
because
thank you.
because people want to talk about sex and did you like it in the ass or do you like it in the pussy or this and that. That's what they're interested in.
Well,
So
and a lot of people leave comments on here just stupid troll shit. So you're exactly right. Like the amount of people that can actually have an intellectual conversation is, 10% of the US population. So,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. And then that goes everywhere. So there's 10% in the US above. There's also maybe even less in Iraq that are awakened, that know what's up. So if you allow these people the freedom to go and research, and then if the media intervenes, especially Western media, then they go haywire. They go like, "Oh my God, look at the Americans! They have the best cars. They have the best houses." Because why? Because that's what the media feeds them, and then
yeah.
they become against the government. But
Let's
these
play these.
people, little they know is that if that happens, they're screwed up for the long term. Like just like
Exactly.
Iraq right now. Okay, so if Saddam has left, and then if there are real patriotic people who came to power, Iraq would be back on its feet in less than 2 years,
Thank you.
because
But it's
it had unlimited amount of cash. It has the most valuable resource in the world, that is oil, in abundance. They can sell it to anybody, make money, and everybody will be well off. But that didn't happen. Why? Because the money all got dispersed. You have 60% of the money that is the contracts go to the American officials, 40% go to the Iraqi officials. At the end of we have a joke in Iraq. We say there is a tender for a contract for 100,000. 50,000 goes to the person who is writing the tender, and then 40,000 goes into the subcontractor who then subcontract it, and then 10,000 goes to the subcontractor who then subcontract it for 1,000, and then the job is never done. So they keep
exactly.
like
So
a
the
hot
job
potato
never
cake.
gets done, but the inside gets paid. Exactly. Here, let me play some of these comments.
Total violation for their human rights. In fact, the Palestinian individual and their human
I think that's the same one that we talked about. You can skip it.
You kidnap Palestinian students from
I
campus
think he's
and
playing the
torture
same
them
thing
in your
again.
jails. You torture your political rivals. The suffering
Dude.
of the Palestinian people is the outcome.
We get your point, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, America did freaking Iraq really bad. They also did it with Gaddafi in Libya. They made him look like, the media made him look like he was the enemy. The people loved him, you know? So they killed him just because Gaddafi wanted to change the oil currency into gold instead of American dollars. And so they were like,
Sure.
hells no. Gaddafi's killing his people, everybody. Let's get him. Yeah, and now look at Libya now. Libya's like, it's fucked up.
It's fucked up, yeah. Agreed.
Bobby Digital.
We
Let
have
me
few
talk.
more.
Let me touch on that for a second. I got to touch on what Bobby Digital said because that's huge. I just I'm preparing to do a podcast on Gaddafi, so I've done all the research, but I haven't done the podcast yet. So this is perfect. He's exactly right. Gaddafi was going to switch over. So there's this thing called and some of the listeners might not know, but I'm sure you do. There's a thing called the petrodollar, right? Which the U.S. put in place after World War II, right? Where anytime oil is purchased, it has to be done in a dollar.
And U.S.
right?
dollar, yeah.
U.S. dollar, right? Why? I don't know, because we got the biggest military, I guess.
Not only that. So to top that up, for example, Iraq, when they sell their oil to the U.S. in the U.S. dollar, the money gets deposited in the Iraqi bank account in America. Just to add that up, just to top that up, like they don't get the cash right away. No, it gets deposited in the Iraqi bank account in the U.S.
So that those banks then make some money too. Is what
Yeah,
you're
I
saying.
mean, then, yeah, and then because the Iraq has deficits and they
Well,
have
and
the
that's
GDP deficit. So
well, and
basically,
that's
if they
unfair.
don't pay the interest, if they don't pay the interest, well, we have all your money, so you can't not pay. We'll just take it out of your bank account. It's not something optional.
Exactly, and that's how the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, the World Trade Organization, NATO, and the U.S. military work in harmony to oppress countries. Is how exactly
Sure.
how you said. We got more messages.
You guys, what do you guys think about Biden? I fucking hate that guy.
Biden,
Biden.
Biden, Biden sucks ass. He's just another. He's just another
He's just
one. You
another
know,
puppet. Yeah.
he's just another puppet. He's been in politics for 47 years, and he hasn't done jack shit. So that ought to show you. The only things that he has done are negative, right? He passed the 1994 crime bill, which led to the privatization of U.S. prisons for profit, which is so evil, right? So now you're encouraged to have more people in prison. That's evil. And then he wrote the Patriot Act, which like stripped United States citizens of our civil liberties. So,
I mean, guys, this guy. So let's first realize. First of all, this dual party system in North America is completely busted. Like,
yeah,
they just give you the feel of optionality. In reality, you don't have any option. You have two differently named parties serving the same goal, serving the same people, serving the corporations and the organizations that are making trillions and trillions of dollars every day. That's what's
thank
happening.
you.
So whether you go, I mean, back to your point of voting. So in reality, whether you go and vote for Biden or you go vote for Trump, doesn't really matter. It doesn't change things. I mean, it changed things at the surface level. So Biden might be a little bit well groomed when it comes to talking versus Trump. Trump really can't manage his emotions. That might be a little bit better for the foreign policies. But other than that, they're both serving the same goal.
Oh yeah,
And then
they're
until there is, I mean, until there are more than two parties that are really effective, you don't have those random parties that are barely making any chairs. No, you have to educate your people to, I don't know, what to tell them what are the backdrops and what is happening in the back end of these two different parties, in which it's essentially the same, whether being
you're
it
exactly,
conservatives or, I mean, the Republicans or the thing.
you're exactly right. You know what my analogy is so you're at a concert and you go to leave the concert. Does it matter if you go out the left door or the right door? They both lead to the same hallway, right?
uh, mm-hmm.
So it's the same fucking thing with our political parties. They're bought and paid for by the corporations. So the people that
Mm-hmm.
can't see that are clearly just watching like cable news at this point because, you know, at this point, truth is like 3 clicks away, people. All you got to do is go Google some shit, go on YouTube and go down a rabbit hole for a minute, and you got to be able to decipher bullshit from truth.
Not even Google. I would say the other search engine, go duck or duck go, whatever that is.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Fuck Google. Everybody, go to duck go. Duck go. Right, and that's a
That's
search
another search
engine.
engine.
It's a search engine that'll do all the same things that Google does, but it doesn't track you, and it doesn't trace you, and it doesn't keep statistics on you. So fuck Google. Go to DuckDuckGo. Thank you for that. Let's go to another message.
Man, what's your thoughts about Biden? I don't like him. I'm a Trump supporter all the way.
Trump supporter all the way. Okay, well, break it down. What did Trump do that you liked?
Choose truth over facts.
That guy, Vigil Q, he is legit. So thank you. Truth over facts. I think what he was talking about right there is trying to bring to our attention the whole era of alternative facts, right? Like that Trump supporter just mentioned. Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
so you're a Trump supporter. What did he do that was good? He didn't drain the swamp. He filled it. He didn't do anything he said he was going to do. He was a great salesman, but he didn't do any of it. Right?
Honestly, the day that Trump got into office, I laughed at how the world is weird as fuck. And I laughed at the number of stupid people in this world. It's not even about stupidity. It's about biases, and it's about supporting your own kind or your ideologies. Like, I don't even know.
It's about people being too lazy to make 3 to 5 clicks on YouTube, watch some fucking documentaries and learn some shit. People are just so
Like,
lazy.
this guy, Trump, has every single flaw that would expel him from becoming a president. I don't know how he made it. I really don't.
Every single flaw, right? Like, he's sexist, he's racist, he's a horrible business person, and he's filed bankruptcy 6 different times.
It's not only that. It's not even he's likely that. No, he is like, his wife is a fucking prostitute. You guys, the first lady of the United States used to be a prostitute. Like, how low can you go?
Well, not only that, but she's also a mail order bride. So he's like America first, but he can't even get his own fucking bride from America. He had to fucking mail order that shit from Russia or Ukraine or wherever the fuck he was a stripper
Yeah.
and hooker.
And by the way, he's not a great businessman. I mean, his net worth is $2 billion. There is multi-billionaires that have surpassed him all the way. Like, $1 billion is not a lot in today's day and age. You know, there's a lot of people who has done much better than this guy. It's not even he's good at negotiations. He's just, I don't know. He's just a bully, in my opinion. That's what he is.
No, Metal Gear. No, you nailed it. He's not. Come on. His whole the whole thing that made him famous is you're fired. That's not negotiation. That's being a dickhead. That's being a bully. That's being an asshole. That's not paying attention to. It's good. Yeah.
Anyways, that's just.
You got a lot of weird background right now.
Oh no, I'm just making tea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, Biden is not any better. I mean, again, he's just a little bit more well groomed than Trump, but other than that, he's probably, he has the same flaws. I mean, by the way, Biden is another redneck. He's like, I don't know. Yeah. He's tattooed. He's like this motorcyclist. I've seen some ads for Biden, and he's showing his tattoos, and then he's putting his jacket on, and then he goes to a motorcycle and starts riding it. Like, who the fuck? Like, a political person wouldn't advertise himself as a bad boy. You know what I'm saying? A political person needs to be, like a little bit kind of like classy. I kind of liked what's his name, the one before Trump. Obama. I kind of like the way he talks. He's preserved.
Obama was a good talker, but check
Come
this
again?
out. Obama was a good talker, right? He was a good
Yeah.
orator. He was a
Yeah.
very smooth orator, but behind the scenes, he accomplished a bunch of evil shit. So he didn't do jack shit for your average person.
I mean, no, we all agree that everybody who comes into the presidency has an agenda that he has to follow. It's not like anybody else has an option.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's a well presented person, better than the rest, better than Biden and better than Trump, in my opinion.
Right, but that leads to our what we already agreed upon, which is we need a third party. So fuck this two-party bullshit. So the new thing is the movement for the People's Party.org. www.movementforapeoplesparty.org. It's an amazing organization. The head of the Bernie Sanders campaign is the person who started it. It's backed by people like Marianna Williamson, Dr. Cornel West, Brianna Joy Gray, Jimmy Dore, and a number of other people. We got a bunch of messages stacking up.
There is also another link called represent.us.
Bam. Let's check them both out. Got a bunch of messages here.
Trump did everything right.
Trump did everything right. Okay, so, but what did he do? Come on.
It's amazing how the media has made the deep web sound like it's very dangerous.
Oh, the dark web.
Where people buy drugs.
The dark web.
No,
sure.
Man. Like this is where reporters get their fucking facts from.
Sure.
You know? It's like it's real information, and the thing is with DuckDuckGo, I mean it's better than Google, obviously, but it still has its like Google restraints sort of. Dark web is where it's at. People have to just, like you said, educate how to use it. But like the media has made it sound like, oh, you don't want to go there. Like it's so taboo. Like they make you think if you're gonna go there, you're gonna get beat up right away at that spot.
Bobby Digital, teach us how to use the dark web, bro. Yeah, because I'm scared. I've only seen a couple documentaries and I'm scared. Here, more messages.
Nobody should be in jail for a nonviolent crime. We should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison. Nobody should be in jail for a nonviolent crime. We should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison.
Vigil Q. Bam! I give that I don't know, 5 stars. I didn't know there was ratings, but I'm gonna give that 5 stars because Vigil Q, dude, knocked it out of the park. That's exactly what we're talking about. Political.
How did you give stars?
I don't know, man. I just made it up.
Okay.
That's what we did.
Sorry. What was the link that you referred to before playing those voicemails?
Oh fuck, I can't remember. Let's play some more.
Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy. Grab him by the pussy.
Yeah, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not easily offended or anything, and the word pussy doesn't even offend me. But the fact that I heard our media on the television saying I was offended by that. Wow, we have fallen so far as a society with chump. Oh my god.
I mean, he lowered the bar.
So sorry, I'm going crazy with soundboards, getting ready to start doing shows seriously here. But I was wondering, have you guys heard of Unity 2020, Brett Weinstein?
Unity 2020.
No, I'm not familiar. Vigil Q, hip us out. What's up with Unity 2020? And I'm loving what you're doing.
I plan to save our republic.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, that's scary, huh? That sounds racist.
I think there was a documentary about it or something. Remember something
That
like
sounds
that.
That sounds racist as fuck, right? Republic. That sounds like I'm gonna see like a Confederate flag, you know. I'm not a redneck.
No, I'm just like looking at it. Got it. There's not much information about it though. Unity 2020.
Okay, well, so Vigil Q, this guy's awesome. Vigil Q, keep us posted on Unity 2020. I want to know what's up.
I think we have another one. Let's hit it up.
He has a podcast called The Dark Horse. Brett Weinstein went through some shit in the early stages of BLM and all this nonsense.
The Dark Horse.
Oh shit. Dark
podcast.
Horse.
Brett and Heather. These are like 4 days. 4 days. They're all uploaded recently.
I'm taking notes, people. I'm taking notes.
I'm taking screenshots.
There you go, baby. You're a step ahead of me. I'm a little bit old school. I'm writing this shit all down on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna go through it later. So what was that? Yeah. Dark Horse?
The Dark Horse podcast by Unity 2020 or something. I think we have another one.
Can you hit it?
Yep.
The idea of Unity 2020 was to have a left of center vice president or president and a right of center vice president or president. What we would do is by vote within a new party, decide which one of them would be president the first term, and then the next term they would have to swap, and they could do this obviously until both of them had served 8 years or somebody else is voted in.
I like that idea a lot, you know.
I mean, that sounds interesting.
Well, because you know what Europe is doing is proportional representation, right? So the top 5 people that place in the election, they all get a place in politics, right? And in the U.S., it's winner take all, so it's bullshit. So I really like what Vigil Q just said about it. I really like that idea.
But see, in Iraq, it is exactly that. But like Iraq is not a good example because there is corruption to hell. But the way it's played out in Iraq is that each party that takes a couple of chairs, then they start serving their own agendas, and then you have a lot of power, but between dispersed agendas, and that basically it didn't end up going anywhere in Iraq.
Ideally, without corruption, the idea behind that is that you end up with a more diverse representation, right?
Yeah.
So
no, I get it.
But how do you keep corruption out of politics? That's a whole nother conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
But I think what we're talking about here is, I think we've talked about a lot of things. So we're talking about what is, but then also what would we like to see, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be based in reality. Like, we could shoot for the moon. Like, what do we want?
Yeah, look into Brett Weinstein, though, and the Evergreen affair, Evergreen State. He was the victim of a kidnapping when basically BLM protesters, BLM was still developing. I'm not sure if they were chanting Black Lives Matter, but it was the same cause. Black students would stay out of school once a year on the same day, tradition in the school. One year they asked for white people to stay home. Students and faculty both used to do this. Only the blacks used to do it. Now they were asking the whites to do it, and they basically shamed the whites as being racist if they stayed in the university. Brett Weinstein said, "No, I'm not staying home. I'm going to work today. You can't force me." Blah blah blah. They attacked. They cornered him in a classroom, kept the cops away. They were looking for him with bats around the campus.
Wow.
Yeah, Vigil Q, you're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, that's amazing timing. I just read an article about this, and I don't believe that has any ties whatsoever to BLM. I believe that was an early progressive. He was a progressive, and people viewed him as being conservative because he didn't bow to the state mandated withdraw from the campus. He's like, fuck that, I'm going to teach my class. So everybody fucking labeled him racist and everything, whereas he was being actually a freedom fighter in that cause. And come on, anybody that digs into this topic is going to agree with me on this. There's no two ways on this one.
It has a philosophical tie. This was in 2017, so BLM was a thing already.
Okay, well, I haven't seen anything that tied it. I'm not going to argue that with you, but I appreciate you bringing that up. Vigil Q is fucking awesome. Everybody should follow the guy.
No, yeah, I gave him a follow for sure. I mean, he has nice ideas.
He's always dropping knowledge, and he contributes to conversations, which seems to be rare.
you don't find that quite often here, man.
Yeah,
people are just too busy with it. Like, again, this comes back to their daily grind, so they just want to chill down and being couch potatoes and just watching Netflix and chill. That's pretty much it.
That's it, dude. And it's by design, right? Because productivity in the United States since the 1970s has gone up by like 80%. 80%. But income has gone up marginally. Right?
Yep.
Income for the CEOs has gone through the roof. But for the working marginally. Dude, mark my words. If there's one country in the world that is ripe for revolution, it's the United States. But nobody talks about it. Why? Because all of our news outlets are owned by corporations that don't want a revolution.
No. I don't think there is any revolution that's going to happen in the United States. You mark my word.
Okay.
I think people are too happy to care, and they are too.
You're right.
They're settled down. They're giving you the drugs that you want. They made the lockdown, but hey, LCBO and alcohol stores are open. Why? Because they want you to drink yourself to sleep.
Well, not even that, but what happened right before COVID? We had the nation's biggest opioid crisis ever.
Sure, yeah.
So everybody is strung out on opioids, right? There's a liquor store everywhere within a mile of everybody, pretty much.
I mean, in the United States, you technically don't need to go to a liquor store to buy alcohol. You can buy it at any grocery store, as far as I remember.
Well, That's what I'm saying. So you only need to go about a mile to get
Yeah,
to get to get your
to
drug
get alcohol. Yeah,
to get your
and then
drug.
people are mentally not only disabled but mentally exhausted too. So you know they don't have the time to go and research and read and this and that. Well, we're just gonna trust our government, and that's pretty much it. So that's why I think it's a rigged system, and the system
It's,
is very hard to break. And so, like the people who actually think critically about things, they're too the numbers are too small to matter. Like we're talking about, like it doesn't matter how many times you talk about them. You post YouTube videos or like go do a podcast. It's not gonna matter because like even people who are listening today, they're gonna wake up tomorrow, go to work, forget about it tomorrow. And that's why I think it's nothing's going like. I think this is the
you think
system
so?
has already. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we're already just
Was that?
So you think we're already just totally fucked beyond hope?
I don't think. Yeah. Well, we might see it as fucked. Other people are just fine with it. Like you saw Texas guy. He's like, yeah, I'm fine. And there's like, no, and that's the norm. Like, I think um, we are like this conversation that we're having here. This is not normal. This is not normal conversation. Like, this is not the typical conversation that people have because it's going too deep in the weeds, and then we're analyzing things and we're deeply thinking about things. But that's not your average Joe. That's the reality. And then
Correct.
at the end of the day, it's the masses that decide. It's not the people who are, at the edges. But
I guess.
some people might be able to, if you have the ability to lead a group of people, then those people might actually make some changes. But the problem is, by the time you get there, you probably get rigged yourself. Like,
See,
you know, you,
my hope my hope
yeah,
is that people like you and I. So here's my dream, right? It might be a dream, it might be a hope, but you know what? This is if I don't have this, dude, I'm just gonna go blow my brains out, right? So here's the hope that keeps me going in the morning, right? Is that I can talk with somebody like you, and we can form this bond, dude. We just had an amazing conversation, right? And
sure,
we bonded on so many levels. So
sure.
So how could somebody now listen to this and go, "Oh fuck Iraq, fucking dooba 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 doo," right? So my goal is that is my goal is that by spreading truth, we're spreading a wildfire, right? Light it on fucking fire, man, and let the revolution burn.
Um, it's very hard. Like, yeah, I mean, it's good that you see it this way, but I don't see things change that way. It's very, very hard. Like, you don't get it. Like, people just don't care. Like, just like how I have a bunch of friends who I was surprised because these guys think critically of things. And then I shared some photo on my Instagram. It was mocking the lockdown of COVID, right? So then what happened is one of um, one of my friends, she stole it and then she put it as a story. And then so what Facebook did is that they notified her that, hey, you have a message about COVID. We're going to put a banner under the post that says, if you are asking about COVID, this information. This is the public profile. Sorry, this is the public website.
So then it bans your post.
It's my post. Yeah, anyways. But what happened is she got so scared that she deleted that post because she's like, well, I don't want to risk my profile. And she is a critical thinker. So if you have that people, being scared that their Facebook profile is going to get deleted or their Instagram's profile is going to get censored. If these guys are, these guys are censoring themselves internally.
But
So,
then you
and these
got
are critical thinkers.
but then you got people like me who were like, I don't give a fuck. I'll post my face. I'll post my Instagram. I don't give a fuck. That's right. I said it. The United States
Yeah,
government is a
yeah. But
terrorist
what happens?
organization.
But what happens is your post is going to be seen by nobody or very limited number of people.
Well, and that's what
You
happened.
might get censored. You might get censored after 2 or 3 times, and you're off
That's
the
what
platform.
Well, and that's what happens is I've been kicked.
And
I've
then,
been kicked.
essentially, effectively, they are silencing you.
Yeah,
So
I've been like I told you before. I have 1,100 friends on Facebook. When I post something, six people see it, and so that's how they censor me.
yeah, and that's the problem. Free speech is no longer about I can speak and I want to speak. No, free speech now should turn into who can hear you as well. Like now,
That's,
everybody can post anything on social media, but the
but who
problem is
hears? Nobody hears
people
it.
will not see it. People will not
Right.
exactly. So they're giving you the false sense of free speech, but nobody's hearing. Go
Exactly.
shout as much as you want. Nobody's gonna hear you,
It's
right?
almost it's almost like they give you it's almost like they give you a podium to speak at with a microphone and everything. But then your message is
You're muted.
recorded. You're muted. There's
Yeah.
the
So
microphone
then,
is muted, and the recording is dead, so you can't share it anywhere. Exactly.
yeah. So then, that's why. That's the reason I think nothing is going to happen, because whoever is going to speak is going to get muted. They might try 10 times, dozen times, but eventually they will give up, because Facebook, who is muting you on Facebook, owns your Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and then there is what other platforms? There is Snapchat, which is full of kids, and then there is what TikTok, which is full of kids. These
No,
are
I'm not
children's
giving up.
platform,
I'm not
and
giving
then
up.
there is no. Well, again, is that how it should be?
No.
Until everybody realizes that their voice is more important than their Facebook profile existence, then we might have a chance. But
Thank
until that point, I don't think. Yeah, but that's not going to happen. Like, people are not gonna sacrifice. Like, as I told you, people are not going to sacrifice their Facebook profile just because they want to talk about COVID, or they want to talk about this, or they want to talk about this conspiracy theory. Not
Right.
to mention what
Not
we talked
yet.
about today. Not to mention what we talked about today is, because I've had these discussions multiple times here in Canada, and a lot of people think it's 9/11. It's true. It's not conspiracy. I'm like, do you even understand how physics work? Like 1 + 1 = 2. And these guys, they truly think that 9/11. I might be the crazy one. Who knows? I might be the one who is.
9/11 is what we call the litmus test, right? So you ask somebody, "What do you think about 9/11?" And that tells you right away if you can talk to the person or not, right?
But the problem is, if you don't talk to it's the chicken or the egg. Because if you choose not to talk to them, then you're missing out awakening another person who might have the ability to awaken 10 of their friends.
Okay, so
Right?
you're right. So I used the wrong language. You should talk to everybody, but it informs you who you're talking to. That's what I
Yeah, it
meant to say.
informs you who you're talking to, and what
Thank
what's the method of conversation that you're gonna have with them. What's the level of conversation? How you approach them. That's what you're
Right,
gonna do. Sure.
right. And
But then
how
how many times can you do that? Like, you against mainstream media. Mainstream media can reach 200 million people in like a snap of a finger. But
I
then
want to
you have
I
to
want
strip off. You have to strip. Yeah. First of all, you're getting a completely biased person. person who has their own ideology. You have to
Right.
strip that out and then reinsert whatever you want to insert. Basically, have a conversation with them, and that takes time. Like right now, we've been having a conversation for about 3 hours. Imagine spending 3 hours with each person. Not to mention, I mean, not to say that it's hard to do, but I'm just saying it's not scalable. So it's like
I
Israel versus Hamas. Israel with their big tanks and the airplanes and so on, and Hamas with their fucking
rubber bands.
stones.
Yeah, Hamas has rubber bands and stones, and Israel
Yeah,
has
rubber
nuclear.
bands and stones. Yeah, I mean, you have no chance, right? And that's
No.
why. So this is
But-
going back to you
But I
think that
don't
there is
agree.
going to be a revolution. I don't think it's going to be a revolution. And the
So
more the more the society progresses. Yeah,
I
sorry, go ahead.
agree. I agree, but hear me out right here, brother. David and
Yeah.
Goliath, right? If we hit that motherfucker right between the eyes with a rock, we could take down a giant, right? And if the 99% could get together, then the 1% has absolutely no chance, right? So that's where I hold hope, is that people like you and I can have these awesome conversations. And thank you again for this. This is
No, thank you.
fantastic. But because we're breaking down barriers right here, we're speaking truth to power, and if one person hears this and changes their opinion, then I did my job, dude. But I want to do this again and again and again and again, right? Like this is my life goal, is to make this
Sure.
happen.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean that basically what I said is I was trying to sum up because you contested when I said I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think there is a revolution is going to happen. And what even worsened this is our drive towards technology. Like right now, censorship is is a code. Facebook. There's no real people who are sitting behind computers and they are censoring one person at a time. No, it's a code that runs automatically that censors 10,000 people in one shot.
Yeah, it's
So then
AI. Exactly.
it's AI, yeah, essentially. And then not only that, and like nowadays, it's been 10 years. We have been reprogrammed to. We have shifted. Like social life is no longer going out with friends, or I mean, it is that on a very high level, but with busier schedules, people opt to socialize through social media apps. Like look at dating, for example. Look at Facebook. Why Facebook has boomed? Because people are busy and then they would rather come back, take some pictures, post it on Facebook, communicate with friends through Facebook, and there they will meet once a month instead of before they used to meet once a week in person and have real life conversations person to person. Now it's like heart likes thumbs up. That's what it is.
Right. People used to meet, have a barbecue, have a beer together. We got a bunch
sure.
of messages lining up. Let's play some.
Yeah, check them.
Oh boy, you want to talk revolution? You're really going to get me going.
All right, revolution. Let's get Vigil going. Vigil Q. I'm sorry.
You know, I just realized another thing sounds like to me. You sound like more an energetic version of Ben Stein.
Ben Stein. Okay. I'm trying to be more like a white Martin Luther King, or more of a white Malcolm X. Trying to be more of a white Malcolm X, but hey, Ben Stein. We got to take baby steps in this life, right?
Who is Ben Stein?
You're right on point, no metal. The average person doesn't talk about that. They look at you like with five heads when you do.
Ben Stein, he was this guy that, like, I don't know, he just had a show about money. Real shallow guy.
And when they do talk about it, it's a very simplistic view, a simplistic explanation that they come up with for why things are the way they are, when it's multivaried and nuanced.
Thank you, Wani
Yeah, for
Boom
sure.
Boom. Because you know why, Wani Boom Boom? They want to divide and separate and keep their house on the hill. And I say burn it all down, motherfucker. We got to start over.
Bond, James Bond. I'll do it.
Bond. James Bond. Shaken, not stirred.
Baby, don't you like my fire? Baby, don't you like my fire?
Well, not sure where that one came from, but hey, I like it. No, Wani Boom Boom, he's a solid guy too. So these are two guys that have been following me for a little bit, and I appreciate them both chiming in because they're both free thinkers.
Juanito Papi, I gave you a follow.
Yeah, man, he's a solid dude. He's a revolutionary. So is Vigil Q. Vigil Q, he's a revolutionary.
Visual Q, I can see. Oh, I see Visual Q. I already followed Visual.
We're fucking shit up in here, you know? One friend at a time, man. One friend at a time. That's right.
Yeah, dude.
That's how shit changes.
So let's change the topic a little bit. How is California?
All right, should I change the topic? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. How's the weather up there in California right now?
You want to talk about global warming?
No. California. How is the weather in California?
Oh, it's scarily warm right now.
Damn, it's like 0 here in Canada. It's 0 degrees Celsius.
It's been like high 70s.
What is that? Like 20 degrees?
Fahrenheit. High 70s in Fahrenheit. It's like warm. It felt like springtime.
Like t-shirts warm?
Abso-fucking-lutely. I've been wearing shorts and t-shirts.
No,
and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Man.
We're supposed to be getting our rain right now. Like, this is supposed to be winter time. Right?
It's pretty cold out here in Canada. It's like 0 degrees. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit, but
yeah, that's weird. So we got 2 more messages.
Vigil que. Vigil que. Vajul quai.
Vigil Q. Vigil Q.
Ah, he's Canadian. I understand. Do you like Canada, eh? How long has it been here? About 5 hours? About 5 hours, eh? Would you like some maple syrup, eh? Get the moose out of the house.
Exactly.
Play some hockey, eh?
I don't play hockey, unfortunately. I'm not a cold weather person. When it's cold, my favorite winter sport is getting back inside.
My favorite winter sport is making a fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Favorite winter activity.
That's awesome.
Fuck that, man. It's pretty cold out here.
Well, dude, no Metal Gear. I think we had an awesome conversation. I think we should wrap it there because, like, I think we knocked it out of the park talking about some heavy stuff. So I don't think we should dilute it. You know?
For sure, man. Yeah, it's been great. I enjoyed that conversation, and we should definitely have it more often.
Yeah, let's circle back around. I followed you. I'm gonna look you up on Instagram right now, and can I friend you on Instagram? Can I follow you on Instagram?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. It's Ali, ALI.
ALI.
_
Uh-huh.
KUFAISHI.
KU what?
F as in Frank.
Uh-huh.
A-I-S-H-I.
Sorry, man, I'm American. You got to go slow, dog. Right? We don't have free college up in here. So, thank you so much.
K-U. You got it?
Yeah, no, I got it. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm gonna
dude.
hit you up. Appreciate the
All right, dude.
conversation, man. Let's
Yeah,
circle
likewise.
the wagons and let's do this again.
For sure, man. All right, man. Take it easy.
Take it. Peace.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and another thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and another thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.